Ever since I was a little child or a little kid, witches have always fascinated me. I've always been fascinated by witches. The moment I saw that witch appear in the Wizard of Oz, I was a little child and I was hooked, and that was the beginning of my from my recorded memory, the love of everything that had to do with witches. Now, a lot of people are fascinated by vampires and werewolves and whatever it may be. Comic books, even as kids, comic books. I mean, my friends would collect comic books. I would collect books on witches and witchcraft. This is one of the oldest books that I've had. I think it was first published in 1981. Let me get the whole cover. And it's titled Witches. Okay, and look at the cover. And it is by Erica Jong, illustrated by Joss A. Smith. Sorry about the dogs. Joss A. Smith. It is a hard cover book. It's a very big book. I'm going to show you the inside flap. If you remove the flap, okay, this is the flap. And this is the inside emblem on the book. It's a very beautiful book. I think this was published, in 1981. Okay, so this is not the original one that I had. The original one that I had was a library book. But I recommend, if you are fascinated with everything that has to do with witches or witchcraft, this is one of the books that people should get. This book, I'm just going to show you, I'm just going to do a flip through of the book. It's a very big book. It's around 180 pages. And I'm just going to do a flip through of the book. Beautiful art throughout the book. Okay. And this is the title page. Let's see if I can find the date of when it was first published. Okay, so see if I can find. I think this was first published in 1981. But anyways, I recommend this book for anyone who is interested in studying witchcraft history, the lore, the magic, what was a witch. And the art in the book, it's not easy flipping through a book. It's very beautiful. Okay, so I'm just going to give you a flip through of the book. If you can pick this up, I definitely recommend looking online, maybe at Amazon.com, maybe through eBay. This book right here, the first book, because I'm going to show you two books. This one's more poetry. There's poems, there's stories of witches, beautiful pictures throughout the book. I just want to show you. Here's the hag, the infamous hag that we all know. The cat, the familiar. I don't want to miss any pages. Give me a second. Okay, I can't believe that I read this when I was a kid. Look at the images. Imagine what that did to a young little boy. And then the poetry is very beautiful. The white goddess and the witch. This page right here is a fold out. Here we have the young witch. And then here we have the infamous hag, the crone, the elder witch. Again, more poetry. It's not easy recording a video. These are one of the books that many people forget about. And I recommend, for studying on anything that has to do with witchcraft, this I think everyone should own one. Look at the art on this book. Now, I was going to originally record this for my season of the witch back in October, and I completely forgot about it. And so now that we're entering into Half A Ween, halfway to Halloween, I decided to do it now. This is the time to grow your pumpkins if you grow pumpkins. This is the horn god. Poetry about the horn god. This is the torture that many women went through. Many women, men, and children went through during the persecution of the witches. Because of this, witchcraft and Christianity will be forever linked because of that part of the history of witches. Okay, so I just want to make sure that I give you a flip through. Witches and heretics. Satanism and witchcraft. I mean, the book is very beautiful. It's very big. This one has a lot of poetry. Becoming a witch. Like I said, I was going to record this for my season of the witches videos back in October, but you know, one of those things that I completely forgot. So now that we're entering into Half A Ween, or halfway to Halloween, which is end of April, beginning of May, time to plant your pumpkins, your jack-o'-lanterns for Halloween. I decided this would be perfect for this time. What does a witch look like? I know you can't see the pictures very good, but they are beautiful. You have the hag, and then you have the beautiful woman. More women, witchcraft, I mean, more women were persecuted as witches because of lust, because of man's desires and carnal flesh, desires and wants for women. Again, more poetry. Witch lore. These are one of those books that go under the radar, and I think most people who practice witchcraft, these are the familiars. Most people that practice witchcraft should own this book, or not practice, but study witchcraft should own this book. These are all the familiars of the witches. We have the toad, the dog, the rabbit, the goat, the cat, of course, the rooster, the lamb, the boar, the raven. It's getting a little harder to flip through as I get to the ending of the book. I just wanted to show you just how beautiful this is. It's very beautiful. And these are the witch's tools. More what the tools of, I guess, modern day neo-paganism uses, Wiccans. Here's the infamous broom. Her book of spells, her talismans, her amulets, her charm bags, the nails. Look at that picture. A witch's costume. There's a reason why we dress in black. A lot of witches dress in black. And the book kind of goes deeper into that. Let me pause this video for one. No, I got it. Witch's cloak. So I definitely, if you can find this book online, maybe on Amazon.com or on eBay, I definitely highly recommend it. Good for summer reading. This is the witches' rituals, or the witches' Sabbaths. A lot of people will be like, the devil, why is the devil always, that's the image of the Christians. The Christians always put the ancient shaman as the devil. Okay, the ancient shaman became the Christian devil. Pan, Kernunos, the ancient shaman of ancient old, became the Christian devil. Most witches do not believe in the devil. But this is part of our history. This is part of the witchcraft history, and it is part of what really drove, I'm sure, a lot of people into wanting to learn witchcraft. You know what I'm saying? Here we have the goat and the witch being initiated. Sexual union with the devil. Puppets and puppets, puppets and puppets. Here's the witch placing pins on her puppet. The infamous voodoo doll. Actually, that infamous voodoo doll has more to do with European culture than it does with African cultures. That of making a doll and putting needles into it. Here's a love puppet. So you can see it as a very, again, it's got a lot of poetry, love magic. Love spells. Witch's box. The witch's cord. Here's the witch with the ancient shaman who would later become the devil, Satan, Lucifer. The witch's year, her celebrations. Most of our Judeo-Christian celebrations stem from this. I have to keep pausing the video because it's getting harder to flip through the book. And I want you to see as much of the book as I can. But it really is a beautiful, the Sabbaths, the witches' Sabbaths. I have to keep pausing the video because it gets harder to turn the book. Yeah, we have to keep pausing. Favorite haunts. Witch at flight. Witches and weather. Beautiful accounts of history is recorded here. What is it? The witches' herbs. We say herbs in New England. Herbs. I know a lot of people, that's not how you say it. Herbs, in Spanish is hierba. Herbs. Now we're entering into some of the witches. Every witch has their garden, correct? You all know a witch by their garden. poetry about the bitter herb. Now we're going to enter into some of the herbs. Mandrake, la mandraga. Look at that picture of the mandrake. This is what witches used, or supposedly used in their magic, especially in Europe. Deadly nightshade. I mean, the images are stunning. If you can pick up this book, I definitely recommend it. The Gathering of Herbs. Remember, in New England, we say herbs. The H is not pronounced. Flying ointments. This reminds me of that movie, The Witch, that came out a few years ago. And here's a recipe for the flying ointment. The Witch and the Fairy. The Witch's Storm. Some legendary witches in history. This is Baba Yaga. I think this is Baba Yaga. I'll probably be all wrong, but I think this is Baba Yaga. Right here, that legend. This was a really beautiful read. It's got a lot of poetry. And we're entering into the ending of the book. We all know who this guy is, right? And if you don't, get the book and you'll find out who he is. I want to get you the last pictures of the book. And I think that's it. Okay, and that's it. And it ends for all those who died. Hardcover book. This is the back of the book. Has the famous Witch's Familiar, the cat. I think this was first published in 1981. It's titled Witches by Erica Jong. Hardback book. It's a really big book. It's around 180 pages. I just gave you a flip through of that book. So I'm going to show you another book that I definitely recommend during this time of Half A Ween. Half-O-Ween. We're halfway to Halloween, so I'm going to show you another book that I definitely recommend. Now, the next book that I want to show you for Half-O-Ween is another hardback book. This was the one that I just showed you, Witches, by Erica Jong. This one is titled also Witches. Okay, this is the author. I think this book was, this is the author, Colin Wilson. Now, while this one has the maiden, and then we have the crone, this book has the crone in the cover. You can see that both hardcover books, okay, pretty big books. And this one was published in 1988. I'm going to open the book. It's just that brown Witches. Now, while this book has more poetry and stories, this book right here, The Witches, is more academic, and they're both beautiful. This one was first published in 1988, but the art in it is amazingly beautiful. This is more of an academic study on witches. This is the context. This is when it was first published, somewhere in there. I think it was 1988 or 1987. And I'm just going to show you the pictures. This is the introduction. Okay, and the pictures are just stunningly beautiful throughout the book. They're both around 170, maybe 180 pages. It's hard to record a video with one hand. Look at that. I just want to show you the images. They're just stunning, very stunning pictures. This one's more academic, on the study of witchcraft. But I think, look at that. I'm just going to show you a flip through. This is the ancient shaman. This figure, the ancient shaman, would later, by Christians, become what? The devil? Satan? Lucifer? Here's some ancient shamanism. Shamanism is the root of witchcraft. Shamanism is the root of all science, all math. Every knowledge that you have today, it stems from ancient shamanism and ancient witchcraft. Okay, so sorry about that. Lost my way. Look at the pictures. Just stunning, stunning, stunning book. And this, imagine a little boy, a little child, reading this. All of this seemed familiar, to me. I had to keep pausing the video so I can give you a rough picture of all the, but I recommend this, It's good to be educated on what a witch was, or what witches are, because we, male and female, mostly female, are still here. So here we have the witches dancing, and here we have Pan. Witches and her herbs. Making sure I don't miss any pictures. The toad is one of our familiars. Look at that picture. Isn't that beautiful? The crescent moon. The earliest witches. The devil. As Christianity is linked to witchcraft, so isn't Satanism and the devil. You can't, you're just going hand in hand. Okay, so you've got to find out the origins. Where did the origins of Satanism, where do they stem from? Where do they come from? These are lower level spirits, demons. I have my views on demons and lower level spirits, which I will not go into this video. Look at that picture. Let's see if I can get it. Kind of hard. I got to figure out a way to record these videos better. Merlin and Morgan Le Fay. Morgan Le Fay. This is Merlin, the ancient wizard. I think this is the Lady of the Lake. Look at that. The phallic symbol. The first witch trials. Just want to get the pictures. A toad suckling on a witch's teat. An imp this an incubus? Maybe an incubus or a succubus? This is ancient Judaism. And of course, the Kabbalah is in here as well. Werewolves, vampires, and witches. It's all part of Halloween, you know? And since we're halfway there, I'll talk about the shapeshifters. Every culture has its shapeshifters. Ancient Europe does, Africa does, Asia, ancient Asia, European, the Native Americans had their shapeshifters, South America. No culture has not had its witches and its shapeshifters. Now here is a witch, I'm assuming, doing a puppet spell. What we call a voodoo doll spell. It's a puppet spell. All cultures have the puppet or the doll forms of magic. Here are all the witches' familiars. This reminds me of the old cat lady. Every neighborhood has their old cat lady. In the olden days, if there was an old cat lady, she definitely would have been accused of being a witch. That woman that had all her pets and birds and cats. All of the neighborhoods have one. These are the witches' familiars. The witch's caldron. I don't know if we can see that because the sunlight, there you go, is shining on it. And this is the history that most modern day witches, the burning times, the hanging times, really sad part of the history of witches. Joan of Arc was burnt like this. Many saints and heretics, not just witches, faced this same fate. Look at the face, look at her face. Now we're going into necromancy. That's Dr. John Dee. That's necromancy. I want to get mostly the pictures in the book. That was Dr. John Dee. This is the witch on the cover, the hag. Here we have the ancient priestesses of the goddesses. The witches flying to their Sabbaths. It's getting harder to flip through. And we all know what this is, right? Hallucinogenics. Hallucinogenics. The witches knew the art of herbs and all that. Possessions and poltergeists. Trickster spirits, mocking spirits in the house. Often people attribute these spirits to being demonic when they're more human. Most, not all. They were human once. Poltergeists and those mocking spirits that we have in the house. Let me get the pictures of the book. This picture I find to be, I'm gonna try to get most of it. The witch making the pact with the devil, or signing the devil's book. Sure, I'm going to get a lot of negative comments on this video. I'm just going to leave it. I'm just going to leave them there. I definitely won't answer those comments unless they are very offensive. Then I will just completely delete those comments. Most of those comments are written by the ignorance, people who don't really. This is the Witches of Salem, written by people who really don't know, who don't study, who trap themselves in a box of a unruly, unjustful God, a punishing God that does this. It makes his people do this. Just disgusting. And this is part of our history. Everyone, whether you're Christian, whether you're Catholic, everyone everyone has had an ancestor who was a witch, who was a pagan, okay, who was a bruja, a stregone. Every single one of us. Everyone can trace their roots. This is it looks like La Gitana, the gypsy, but it's not. Everyone can trace their roots back to ancient paganism. It's not really for kids, so definitely not for children to, well, I mean, it depends, but definitely not for children, these books, but they are beautiful. Spiritualism, the birth of spiritualism. Espiritualismo. Now here we have the Golden Dawn. And we're pretty much almost at the ending of the book. I just want to show you pretty much pictures of the book. Every witch knows this cynical face. The face of Aleister Crowley. And actually, in today's modern time, he probably would have been just a normal man. I mean, to today's standards. This is Aleister Crowley. To today's standards, he would have been a normal man, you know. But in those days, he was the most sinister man, the most evilest man ever born. I think that's Morn. I'm not sure if that's Aleister Crowley. Just want to show you the pictures of the book. Now we're entering into Gerard Gardner, the father of modern day witchcraft, or Wicca. This is the face of Gerard Gardner. And he created the movement, or planted the seeds to the movement of what is modern day Wicca. I am not Wiccan. I respect Wiccans. I have a lot of respect for Wiccans. I know a lot of Wiccans who are my friends. I respect every religion and every tradition. Even those religions that I don't quite understand, I respect. And who's this? The Death of Jane Mansfield. A movie star from the 1950s and 60s, equivalent to Marilyn Monroe. I'm not going to go into that. Anton LaVey. And now we're entering into Brazilian magic and witchcraft, voodoo, brujeria. Actually, get a picture. I want you to see this beautiful illustration. Let's see if I can pull back a little bit. And the final illustration of this book is this one. And you can see they are both hardcover books. I think this one was published, 1981. And this one was published in 1988. Hardcover. Show you the covers. Sorry about my dogs. Show you the covers of each book. And I recommend it for those who want to learn about history of witchcraft and study more witchcraft. So I recommend this for anyone who wants to learn and study more on witchcraft. Anyways, this is Sancista Brujo Luis. Happy half Halloween. I was going to get this out for Halloween last year for my Season of the Witch video series. I did not get to. I hope you enjoyed a flip through these books. You can pick these books up in Amazon.com, on eBay. Go online, write the name of the books, the title, the name of the authors, because a lot of people are going to ask me, where'd you get these books? And just go online, go on eBay, go to Amazon.com, and you will find them. He who searches shall find. Anyways, this is Sancista Brujo Luis. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, hit that like button. I know I'm going to get a lot of Christians and devil talk and all that. Educate yourself. Read these books. You'll probably come out learning something new about witches, about witchcraft, and about something that you fear so much, but it intrigues you so much that you're here watching this video. Sancista Brujo Luis. So, I don't know if you can see it. Actually, I can't even see it. I don't even know if I'm recording it. I had to trim my arm. But if you can see, let's see if I can. I can't even see it because of the sunlight. I think I'm getting it. I tried to record this where there was a lot of sun, and I noticed that I had to record it where there's shade. I don't know if you can see those 3 marks. I'm going to move my arm around. This is my right arm. I've had those 3 marks, and I had to shave around this area. I have hairy arms, but I had to shave around this area. I've had those 3 marks ever since I was little. I can remember, when you're a child, discovering your body and having, discovering marks and birthmarks and everything like that. I've had these 3 marks ever since I was little. Don't know if you can see them. My sister has the same 3 marks. And that will be a story, because that's a story all in itself. But in the olden days, according to the Malleus Maleficarum, or the Hammer of the Witches, this right here, in the 1400s, 1500s, 1600s, this would have been proof that I was in legions with the devil, that I had been initiated by the devil. And of course, I've never made any allegiance to the devil. I've never made any pacts with any devils. I'm sorry about my dogs. But this would have been enough proof that I've made an allegiance with the devil or made a pact with the devil. Let's see if you can see it. Okay, usually the devil would leave his mark on his initiates by scratching their bodies and leaving a mark that would be with the person for the rest of their lives, if you could see it. Or he would take a hot iron and he would brand his initiates. And according to the Malleus Maleficorum, or the hammer of the witches, this right here would have been proof enough that I was in allegiance with the devil. This is called the witch's mark, or the devil's mark, and I've had this ever since I was little. I had a trim around my arm just to get it. Now, for posterity of the video, yes, this is my chest, and you can see I have a normal nipple right there. I can't even believe I'm even doing this for this video, but I want to show you something because it goes with what I'm talking about in the video. I have a regular nipple, sticks out a little bit, and then I have an inverted nipple. Okay, this alone during the witch trials would have been enough as a mark of the devil. This would have been enough to get me hanged, to get me persecuted as being what I am, a witch. Excuse the 1970s hair chest. Anyways, yeah, this would have been enough to persecute me as a brujo, as a witch, as what I am. Okay, this, the inverted nipple. And if you look a little lower, okay, here's my nipple. If you look a little lower, you will see right here this third little nipple. This is known as a witch's teat. This is a mark that the devil, that they believe the devil would have left on you for your imps and your familiar spirits to suckle. You know, on your chest or on your breast. So right here, this witch's teat would have been enough to say, okay, he is a witch. This is proof that he is in allegiance with devils and demons that I'm not in any allegiance with. So again, I have a normal nipple, and then I have this inverted one, which right there would have been proof that demons and my imps would have suckled either through this nipple or through this right here. And these markings, which pretty much many people have them, many people who are not even witches have them, it would have been enough to condemn me as being a witch, proof enough that I was a witch.